I'm trying to tell you so that other people don't judge you and talk about you behind your back.
Right.
Because they will. 안녕하세요. 안녕하세요. It's Italian. Look who I'm here with.
Hello!
Would you like to do a 자기소개?
Yes, I'm Billy. I have the channel, Learn Korean with Go Billy Korean. Maybe you've seen me before. I teach Korean, talk about Korea stuff, and I've been doing this now. It's actually gonna be 10 years. It's actually 10 years. I'm not sure when the video is gonna go up exactly,
right.
but this weekend is gonna be my 10-year anniversary.
Fruit just fell from his tree.
Yeah, what was
like a
that?
giant mango.
That's pretty much it. And
You're still doing live lessons.
Yeah, every weekend, every Sunday, I do a live stream for an hour or so, and we go over a grammar topic, and you can ask questions live. But if you miss those, they're also still all on my channel.
Yes. And he has like abridged versions too. If you're studying Korean, whether you're a beginner, intermediate, or advanced learner, you can check out his channel for some content to learn Korean.
Yes.
But today, we're going to talk about some mistakes that foreigners make here in Korea. How long did you live in Korea?
If I put all the time, because I don't live in Korea right now, but I visit every year. If I put all the time I've been into Korea together, maybe it'll be a little over 3 years or so.
Okay.
Maybe 4 years? Let's say 4.
Okay, so 4. And then here I'm like approaching a year and a half at the time of filming. So for context, it's November. So what was one of the first things that you think is like a mistake
Well,
that foreigners make?
this is the one that I noticed is one of the biggest, is that a lot of people will come to Korea for the first time, and the first thing they do is they just get a group of other people like them who are also visiting Korea for the first time.
Yes.
And while that's good, and we can talk about that, it's also not so good for learning Korean. They get so attached to their group of foreigners that they don't want to go out and make more friends who are Korean, or I guess even anyone who speaks Korean.
There's two types of foreigners when they first come to Korea, I feel like, if we're gonna be very general. So there's the type that come being like, I've studied Korean so hard, I only want Korean friends, I'm gonna focus on making Korean friends, and they'll kind of mushi any foreigners that try to talk to them.
You walk past someone else who's a foreigner, you're like,
yeah, they're like, I'm not here to be friends with you, kind of vibes.
I'm learning Korean.
Yeah. And then there's the other type of foreigner that's like, oh, this is your first time in Korea? Do you want to go to Gyeongbokgung together? We can wear hanboks, which is awesome. Like, yeah, go with like people that are gonna be just as excited as you are. But like, they will become a friend group, and they will stick together, and they will travel in packs. So you'll see like packs of like foreign exchange students.
They travel in packs.
They do. They travel in packs.
They hunt in packs.
Literally, if you see a group of foreigners in Korea, usually they're students because that's how they met. They met in like the 기숙사 or like through their university or something. And so they end up being like just groups of like foreigners that don't have a lot of Korean friends because they get so comfortable with each other.
Especially when you first come to Korea, like there's so many things you need to know that you can't figure out on your own. You have to ask someone, and it's going to be another foreigner who's been through it before.
Like getting an ARC, like a Korean person can't help you with getting an ARC. Like they speak Korean, but they don't know the process like a foreigner would. Or like switching visas, or like making a bank account in terms of like, I'm a foreigner, what kind of forms are they gonna want from me, kind of thing. It's more easy than you would think to fall into like a just foreign friend group.
You need to keep it on your mind, like, I have to find Korean friends who speak Korean, because that's really how you're gonna learn Korean, is by using it. And you know, they'll introduce you to their Korean speaking friends, and they'll introduce you to their friends, and you'll get invited to Korean speaking events where they're only speaking Korean, and that only happens through Korean friends, not
like,
from
and like good Korean friends. Like I've stayed at like my friend's like cousin's house, and like gone to like, I don't want to say vacations, but I'll spend like Korean holidays with like Korean friends and their families.
I can go like, you know, hiking with my friends, we'll hang out, we'll, you know, just go get drinks, whatever. All this regular Korean stuff, you know, nothing out of the ordinary, but stuff you're not really going to get invited to do unless you're friends with someone.
The vibe can be completely different though. If you go to like the noraebang with a group of foreigners as opposed to a group of Korean people. Like suddenly like there's all this food on the table. Like, because there's two types of noraebang. So there's the kind where it's like a coin noraebang, which I feel like is what exchange students tend to go to because they're just more affordable.
And those are the newer kinds too.
Yeah, right. And then there's a kind where it's like you can order food and drinks, and there's like a table.
Room.
Yeah,
it's a different experience. That's true. I didn't think about that. You're probably not going to go to that sort of noraebang if you're with a group of foreigners.
Right.
In Korea, it makes more sense to do the older style, the room style, because everyone's going, and you want to have a lot of room to sit out and relax and eat snacks, and someone's got to play the
It ends up being like the
tambourine.
Same. Right.
Right.
And then it ends up being the same price anyway.
Yeah. Every time I go to a noraebang, it'll be with other Koreans. And
other Koreans?
Other Koreans.
Oh.
Other Koreans like me.
He's assimilated.
Yeah. I totally didn't mean to say that. Every time I go,
it comes out of my mouth too. I'll be like, well, in our country, or well, here we don't do that.
Yeah, here. 우리나라에서는.
Yeah, exactly. It's like in Korean because they just say like our this, we this, so it just comes out.
I was using the royal 우리나라 and referred to this country. It's a different experience.
So the next one we have is too trusting of Korean people.
Yeah.
We need to add context. So I feel
we're not saying don't trust Korean people.
That's not what we're saying. From the messages and comments and DMs that I get, it feels that you guys think that Korea is like super, oh, everybody's amazing. It's just so safe. Everybody's going to treat you so well. Like if I'm a foreigner, they'll take good care of me because I don't know what's going on. Which like, yes, they will take good care of you and everything. But there are times where like you shouldn't just assume that everything is like safe or that people are like always have your best
interests in mind.
Yes.
You can leave your laptop open in a cafe and walk to the bathroom, come back 10 minutes later, it'll be there. Your cell phone, no problem.
You could leave it there for 2 hours and it will be there.
That's fine. That doesn't mean though that Korea is safe, and it doesn't mean that all Korean people are going to treat you well. If someone walks up to you and starts talking with you randomly, you don't know them, they're not being nice.
No, they're not being nice. A person comes up to you on the street, they want something from you.
Yeah.
Because Korean people don't approach each other randomly like that.
Never.
It's
not to other Koreans, not to other foreigners. If someone comes up to you on the street and starts talking, doesn't matter what they're saying. 99% it's going to be like for a religious recruitment purpose. Like they want to talk with you about something, or they want to sell you something. And then the very, very rare occasion where it's not will be like maybe an older person who thinks they see you from behind.
Yeah, this has happened to me. Like there was a time where my hair was black and people would come up behind me thinking I was Korean to ask for directions and stuff.
For directions?
Yeah.
Sure. That's the only legitimate reason.
Like they have to ask you and then leave. Or ask you like, oh, where are you from? Like if they're old and they say, oh, where are you from? They might have a short conversation and leave.
Even if they ask you for directions, still be suspicious?
This has happened to me multiple times on like KU's campus. And like when I was an exchange student at a different university, I got stopped for directions. And then they switched it to, oh, you know, I'm from a church. Like, we have events for foreigners. Like, you should come. They were very pushy about, like, can I have your Instagram? Can I have your cacao? Like, you should come. Like, da-da-da-da. They would not let me leave.
There was actually a group, a bit unrelated, a few years ago where there was, they would sponsor events for YouTubers. And they would have, like, foreigner meetups. Maybe someone's made a video about this before. And they actually ended up getting a bunch of people, like not big YouTubers, but like regular, you know, vloggers, to go to this group together and hang out together. And then what they would do is they would take their picture, put them on their social media, and then try to get everyone recruited to come to their church activities through that. And then it's kind of like, look at this YouTuber, he's in our group, she's in our group, you should join too.
Awful.
Even though they had no clue what was going on, they didn't know it was a religious recruitment. I had a friend who actually was caught up in that as well, in that specific group. But it was set up as a legitimate, like a foreigner, you know, social media group thing.
That's really smart.
So,
I'm just thinking that's really sneaky.
It's actually a good idea.
That's very, like, whoever came up with that, high IQ.
If I was in Korea at the time, I think maybe I would have gone to there too, just because, social media group to hang out with other like-minded vloggers. So be suspicious.
I would say the only time it's appropriate for someone to come up to you like that is like if you're in a bar or like a pocha or something like that is normal.
Then that's different. Yeah, it's a different culture.
Yeah.
I'd say it's funny though, thinking about that, you can be less suspicious when you're in a bar than you can be on the street. If you're in a bar and someone starts talking to you,
that's normal.
Yeah, that's totally fine. So if you want to have small talk, go to a bar.
Yes. So the next thing that I wanted to touch on was like a lot of foreigners when they first get here, they focus a lot on like themselves.
Okay.
This is if I rephrase this, it's the like collectivism mindset.
All a group, we're all a family.
As opposed to the like more Western idea of like being very individualistic, which is like normal, that's where you came from, it's where you grew up. But like there are little things that like foreigners will do and I don't think they even realize that they're like doing them. I feel like when they first come to Korea, they're like, I want to be respectful, I want to learn the culture, like I'm very interested, and they'll do so many things correctly, but then there's these little things where like they don't even realize that they're doing.
I guess you might learn before you go to Korea a lot of different cultural things you should do.
Right.
But there's a kind of an overarching message to all of those, in that it's supposed to be like, it's all centered on collectivism.
Right.
So in Korea, the idea is that you're not your own thing.
You're not your own unit.
You don't exist by yourself.
Right.
Which makes sense, right? You know, you're in a society. We live in a society. And
breaking news.
Yes. So, but in Korea, that's more of a thing. So I guess one would be like you're sitting on a bus, you're in a subway, and the collectivistic mentality is there are other people here, I should be quiet. I shouldn't bother them. They might be
Respect.
sleeping.
They might be studying. I've seen people study on the subway. Like they're like their laptops. Like they're busy.
So be quiet on the subway.
Yeah, don't disturb them by being loud.
And it's completely different from the States because it's fine to talk on the bus.
Yeah, I've seen that happen a lot. Like just on buses, on trains. One time I saw yelled at.
That's even worse. Yeah.
Like the trains are silent. Like you
Even
hear
more than
someone
the
open a
bus.
snack packet,
Yeah.
I can hear it like several aisles down. There was another thing we wanted to talk about. Like in food culture.
Ah, yes.
In the United States, usually our food all comes out at once at a restaurant. And if it doesn't, the waiter or waitress will be very like, oh, I'm so sorry.
It'll be out in a second, yeah.
But in Korea, it's very normal for like one plate to come out and then a few minutes later, another plate and then another plate.
Especially
another
if you
plate.
don't all order the same thing.
Right. So it might be like a span of like 5-7 minutes before everybody has their food.
Yeah.
Because of that, sometimes people that are new to Korea will just start eating their food, which is that's a no-no.
Yeah.
It's bad manners.
That's no-no.
You should wait. You wait, and if you're with Korean people, they will tell you, oh, no, you should eat your food. Like, you don't want it to get cold. You say no. You're like, I will wait. And then they'll be like, no. Then you can eat your food. But if you want to still be like extra polite, you can say like, okay, let's eat it together.
Yeah, and you share some with them or something.
Like even if it's like a bibimbap, okay, you kind of just scoot it more towards the center of the table. They're not gonna eat your food most likely.
No, or they might have like one tiny bite.
Just to like
they'll
be
eat
like
the burned part of it or something at the end.
Just to be like, yes, we are a family.
Yeah.
And they will eat it. They don't want it, but like they'll eat it. Along like those lines, usually like people don't get their individual water cups like served by the waiter, like in the United States.
Oh yeah, it's
So
all
there's-
gonna be self-serve. So
Yeah,
self-serve.
or like the emo will bring you like a giant water bottle, okay? And then you'll have little like paper cups.
Right.
I've noticed in my 동아리, so in my like club at KU, the foreign exchange students will like grab a cup and they will serve themselves, put it back, and then just start drinking their water.
Yeah.
Which in Western countries I think would be fine. They'd be normal. I mean, I might be a little upset that you didn't offer me water, but it's not like expected that you're gonna give me water. But in Korea,
It's expected.
It's expected.
You get everyone their water.
You don't
and-
touch the water, or you give everybody water.
Yeah, and same with utensils as well. Like you open up the box and you get your spoon and your chopsticks. You might think, oh, I'm just I'll get it for myself first. But no. If you're gonna do that, you get it
You
for
were last.
everyone.
If you're the one that touched
and
it, you're
That's
last.
right. Same with water. You fill the water for everyone else,
Right,
and then you
and
get
then-
your water last.
Yes.
And it seems really weird. You're like, why do I have to be so polite? But the thing is,
Yeah.
it's not considered to be overly polite in
No.
Korea. It's just that's the default. So I went to eat tonkatsu yesterday. Actually, that's funny. I just ate it today, but I also had it yesterday, and we ordered 2 cheese tonkatsu. And my friend's, hers came out first. And normally I would wait a few minutes, but mine was like, I think 7 or 8 minutes after. It was really taking a long time. So after about 5 minutes, I was like, oh, just eat. And she's like, no, I'm going to wait. And I'm like, no, just start eating. She's like, okay, fine. So she took her fork, put it into her tonkatsu, like a bite,
Stabbed
big
it.
of it, and then fed it to me over the table. One of the pieces of tonkatsu, just because it's that awkward for her as a Korean to eat first.
Yeah.
Like you can't do it.
I have like a core memory from when I was an exchange student. A core memory. Like we were in one of the student lounges in our dorm. It was a long table, maybe 8 people. I had just met this other student. He's like, oh, I'll be right back. He got up, he went to the vending machine. He wanted to drink like a soda.
Okay.
He came back with 8 sodas. Like he couldn't come back with just one for himself. He came back with 8. He was like passing out all the sodas. He was like, I wanted one, so I had to get one for everybody.
So think about that when you're going to buy a snack. Do I really have enough money to buy however many of these or as much as I need for how many people I'm with? And after you do it though for a while, you kind of get used to it to the point where you'll feel awkward not doing it. Like if you were to ever just get your own water and sit down, it'll feel weird to you because
You judging yourself.
Yeah.
So the next thing was focusing too much on learning Korean before you come.
Oh, yeah.
Which sounds very confusing.
Don't learn Korean before you come.
Don't do that. Don't be like us. What? No.
Which is funny because it's like I'm a Korean teacher, but
My whole channel's been about like learning Korean.
specifically though for coming to Korea, like you really can't learn enough Korean
Yeah.
for it to solve all your problems.
Yeah. What we were talking about off camera is a lot of people will say like, oh, I'm gonna go to Korea, like I need to learn all this Korean, or they'll say, I just wanna like learn the basics enough to, live there, or be an exchange student. They think like
Just the
there's
basics enough to live in Korea.
Yeah, which that just means fluent. I know there are some like polyglots that'll say fluent is just like an intermediate level, but here I'm when I say fluent, I mean like you're advanced.
You can set up a bank account.
Yeah, you can set up a bank account. Like you can get a phone plan. Which even like coming here, I tested into the advanced 1 class, so like topic 5, and when I set up my phone plan, I was done with level 5 when I set up my phone plan, and he didn't know what the heck I was talking about.
Really?
Yes, I was so confused. I went in there being like, I would like to get a phone plan. He was like, what? And I was like, a phone, like a plan for your phone. And he was like, I don't understand what you mean. And I was like, what do you mean?
Phone?
You don't know what I mean.
You know a plan?
Yeah.
Phone plan.
Which he was really nice. He was like extremely accommodating.
Right.
I don't know what I said, but I said something wrong.
But like, no matter how much Korean you know before you come here, well, more is better, obviously.
More is always better.
But it's not like you could learn enough to be prepared for everything you need to do. Even if I were to come to Korea to, say, be a student, I would still need to learn how am I going to set up all these different things that I haven't done before. It doesn't matter that I already speak Korean.
Yeah.
I can figure it out, but it's still going to be really stressful for me to figure out what's the exact term that they use for, you know, this specific thing. Like, well, how do I say canceling service? I know the words to say canceling service, but is that the one that they use for when
No.
Right.
No.
They're going to have some special thing in the contract.
Right.
So you have to learn as much Korean as you can, but don't feel like you have to get to a certain level before going to Korea, because no matter where you get to, it's not going to be enough.
Yeah, that might sound discouraging, but we're just trying to say don't like be super stressed out about it. There's a link to Billy's channel in the description box. We also tried to eat a very, very spicy tonkatsu.
Yeah, my stomach
today.
actually is pretty okay.
Yeah, because he had us eat lotion first. If you want to know what that means, you should go watch Billy's video.
Oh man, it was stuck. Even after I wiped it off my hand, it was still stuck. Like it wouldn't go off my hand.
They're gonna think it's real lotion.
The worst cosmetic sponsorship ever.
Anyway, we will see you on our channels. So, tell me about your things.
Bye.